welcome to this week's video. I'm Renfroe, and this is my daughter Rebecca. So she's joining me here out in the woods, hanging out with Mama while I do my video this time. So she'll probably be up and down and stuff, hanging out with me. And can you say hi? Yay! I'm excited about doing this video. I have a few things that I want to share, and yeah, that's just in my heart. Sometimes it might end up being kind of the same things that I've said in my previous videos. If you've been following along in all my videos all this time, it may be along the same lines, but sometimes I have a new thought on it, or a new verse on it to share, or just say it in a different way, or just whatever, I can think of, like, to share, and that's going to really kind of help one think, right? And I think, oh, well, I could say it that way, and it may have that effect, or yours may help a person to kind of analyze their life in a new light, or see things in a new light that we haven't thought of. And so I keep having different things, and thoughts come to me, and so I just want to share them, because I never know at what time you need to hear them, right? At what time, and that's what's really special, and how God works, that He gives us these things sometimes to share at a time when someone really needs them. Like I would not know what to say, when to say it, like when but you can get on. I've got on and listen to things. I'm like, I needed that right then, and guess what? God knew that, right? He knew that the person that shared that video didn't know that. And I also sometimes see, and I'll read comments, and then so many comments were like, I needed that right now. Like, oh, God has been already putting that on my heart, and now I confirmed it again in this video, that I see people's comments on that, and so it's so timely how it's just when they needed it in their life. And so that's the way God works. And so it's so I just, when things are in my heart and mind, and I just want to share it, and I just never know when you need to hear it. So okay, I'll get into the video. All right, so one of the biggest things that I really want to share, it's been on my mind, is just that we really need to get serious with God, with our walk with Him, and that it's not something to put off. I think that the time is now. We are counting down time, as I mentioned in the previous one, just here on earth before He returns to take His people home, and then we don't know how much time we have. And so I just want to really encourage you. I don't know where you are in your walk with God, if it is that close personal relationship, don't put it off. Make sure that it's got to go from what we know to what we believe to how we live, right? And it's got to be it's got to go from that head knowledge, just knowing about God, and knowing things about the Bible, but really become what we truly believe, and then live that out. If we really believe it, we're going to start living it. And so I just can't really encourage you enough that it's not a time to mess around and put off and think that we'll do that later. When we have more time on our hands, or whatever in the future, then we'll get more serious with God. Then we'll spend more time in Word and in reading, and doing more of the things we know we should be doing. Don't put that off. If you can know that there's things that you need to be changing in your life, that God's been maybe convicting you on, and that there's some things that you need to be putting off, doing less of, and adding the other things to your life, and doing more of these other things, then that's what you need to be doing. Do not put it off. You don't know how much time you have. And every day that we're supposed to be living out our lives the way He has called us to. And we live in a society that is very materialistic driven, very, very money driven, very job focused, work, and of course we do need, right? We got to do these things to make a living, to make money, to put food on the table, to keep our houses up, to keep our bills paid, land taxes, whatever, we do. And I know that, but sometimes it can just be more and more focused. It goes way beyond meeting those needs, and it can be so much the focus, doing the work, getting, and maybe doing all these extra things, taking care of our family way above and beyond. So you could just examine that in your life, because I don't know how it is for you. You only know that, you and God, and you and your husband, to take the time and analyze where is our biggest focus in our life. what are some of the things that mean the most to us? Is this lining up with God as our priorities straight? Is where we're wanting to put our money? Is this is places that we should be putting our money and our time and our energies? And just examine a lot of things. That's what I would encourage, because I'm encouraging you to come closer to your walk with God, and it goes in so many areas, so many things, to really examine our hearts, examine our lives, and just to see if it's all matching up, because we can be saying that yes, we love God and we're putting him first, but then our money maybe is saying something different. Our actions are actually doing something different. Our energies are kind of going different, even though we're saying it, and that is not good, because it's got to line up. He said, with their lips they honored me, but with their heart was far from me. And so we don't want that to be said about us, right? So I just encourage you to go, you got to be all in. If you're not all in, then you're not in at all. Really is what it comes down to. And so I'm encouraging you just to examine your life, examine different things, and where your priorities are. And it's a time to kind of recalibrate. I can't even say that word. Okay, I messed up. And just to refocus, to see how you're standing in many areas. I really want to encourage you to do that, and to not put that off. To doing that is something that you need to be doing it right away. And I think there's things that a lot of times we need to do things on a kind of a daily basis, and just as I said on another one recently, is just every day, just just kind of telling God, I'm in, I'm yours, I'm here today, and just being very in communication all the time with God, and seeing things that we can put away from, put less in, and to be able to spend more time in his word, memorizing verses and stuff. Some of the notes and thoughts I had is just, I think too often God can be added to our lives, like especially when a person first comes to the Lord, and you realize that you add God, but God is not something to be added to our life as a part of our life, but he wants to be our whole life, right? He wants to be what we're consumed by, what consumes our life, and what we're driven by. So he doesn't want just to be a part of our life. He wants to be our life, and he doesn't want just a part of us. He wants the whole us, our whole heart. We're to love him with our whole heart, with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our might, and with all our mind, and so the whole being of us. We don't just give him a part of us or what is convenient, or it's got to be. We got to go all in there. And we got to move. Make him from being, say, our co-pilot to being our pilot, or from him just simply being more of a backseat driver for us, but make him the driver. So he is the one in charge and leading us and in control, where he ultimately is anyway, right? He is ultimately the one in control, but we can want to be in control. We want to feel that we're maybe controlling our life, and we don't want just whatever to happen. But the thing is, it will work out the way things do happen in our lives, right? Even though how much we want to control, there is things that sometimes happen in our life, like tragedies, as we know, and he ultimately is the one controlling. So we just need to give it to him, surrender, and life will go easier. We'll be more at peace, more of at rest, and when we do that, when we can totally submit and surrender. Everything we do needs to be. Whether it's pleasing to God or not, we need to consider that. Is it pleasing to him or not? Is it kingdom focused and not just self-focused, money focused, or money driven? But and all the decisions that we do should be driven by God. It says a man can make his plans, but God directs his path. A man's heart devises his ways, but the Lord directs his path. Proverbs 16:9. And then there's verses in Proverbs 3, 1 through 7. And I recommend you reading Proverbs 3. Most of it, anyway, is just so good about when we give our lives to God, when we're keeping his commandment stuff. So I'm going to read Proverbs 3, verses 1 to 7. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them up on thy neck, write them up on the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding. in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not on thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Wow, lots of great, good, sound instruction here. And when we do that, then we, this says, and find favor with God. And we trust in the Lord, and he will direct our paths. Be not wise in our own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. We need to depart from evil. Get all that is not of God away from us. It starts out by, my son, forget not my law, but let thy heart keep my commandments. So God's commandments is so important to live the life that he has intended us to live. We got to walk out what he's given us instructions and guidelines for us to live by, and that is how we show our love to him and draw and live the victorious life that he has intended us to live by following his guidelines and instructions for life. I think we need to just be really prayerful about decision making, and decision make. We need to be for the right reasons, and really live that like he is the one in control and not us. I know that can be kind of hard to maybe practice, and how do we live that out? Like the verse says, it's no longer I that liveth, but he that liveth in me. And it says, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me, and the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me, Galatians 2:20. So it says, no longer I that liveth, but Christ that liveth in me. So something that we have to work on. And as Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15, he said, I die daily. So it's, continually dying to the flesh. And every day, it's one of the things you can say when you get up, a little less of me, a little more of you today, Lord. And to practice ways of how you can do that. How can we do a little more less of us? How can it be less of me focused and selfish focused and driven after the things of the desires of the flesh, but driven after the things that will be pleasing to him, what's honoring to him. So it's kind of an ongoing thing. It's a choice we have to make, and as we walk out with God every day, and just putting him first, to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added on to you. So it's just a daily thing that we have to keep choosing to lay down ourselves and our will and our desires, and choose his way and his will instead. So, all right, well, I think I'll close this video, and I hope it's been encouraging to you. And I just encourage you to go in deeper with your relationship with God, just to make sure that he is a real, is the fulfillment of your life, and he is your all in all, in the very center of your life, in your being. So just to work on your relationship and just see some things that you can maybe start doing differently and doing more of, and just see where he is leading you to stop, being materialistic driven and focused, and see what we can do more to do the things that he commanded, like the Great Commission and all. And I talk about that a lot, that we're all commanded to, to take the gospel to others in some way, shape, or form. The Great Commission is for everyone, and so I encourage you to do that. Look for opportunities. We gotta sometimes, purposely look for opportunities, create opportunities, make opportunities, whatever. Pray for opportunities. Seek that, and we will find this opportunity to share the gospel, because that's what he is all about. Okay, hope this has been encouragement for you, and you can check out my website blog for more great resources, and stay tuned for more of my videos. Okay, and we say bye.